on my computer. There's that lovely lady, the recording in progress lady. Well, welcome everyone to today's little adventure. We're glad to see you all here today. Um, I just had a couple of quick questions for you. Who here believes that AI is going to steal your job?
Oh my gosh, it's already stealing my
It's already
job.
stealing your job.
ChatGPT, what should I do?
Well, yeah, no, we'll talk a lot about different things today. There's a lot of fear that's associated with AI and with using it. People sometimes think the Terminator is about to get us all, but as we get started today, we're going to show you a few slides, and if we have your permission at the end, we're going to tell you about an offer that we're making. So let me share the screen. Ta-da,
Got
da-da.
this, Christopher.
Boom. The problem is I got all your lovely faces here and I have to move them away so I can read what I'm doing. That's one thing about Zoom that I'm not a fan of is the things getting in the way. Okay, so let's go to presentation mode. I do love Canva for presentations, and you'll see why in just a moment because it's kind of fun.
I've
Come
been
on.
playing with Canva AI, and to be honest with you, it's been rough.
Yeah, Canva is not my favorite, but I actually like sometimes ChatGPT better than Canva for creating logos and other things. So anyway, so we're talking today about AI without the headaches. No dolor la cabeza. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
That's right.
That's what the gringo has to say today. All right, so we got a few ground rules for the next 60 minutes. You can drop your questions in the chat, of course, and I think the replay is going to go out in an hour. Give us like 2 hours or so. Grab a drink, which you can see I already have, and we're going to move fast, and we want to have enough time for questions at the end. We will run a little longer than the 60 minutes if you want to have any questions answered. So that's about it. So what you came for probably is not for a lot of tools and things like that, but most of us really we want the freedom, we want the growth, we want the joy that comes from having a business that loves you back. So what do you have to say, Maria Magdalena?
Oh man, yeah, that's I love everything. Keep going.
Oh, keep going. You really want to move fast. Okay, she
I
really.
do. You see,
We
hold
may
on.
be done.
For those
We
of
may
you,
be done in 25 minutes the way this is going. So
hold,
just
hold on. Let me
yeah,
go back because I am all about time
yeah.
management. I'm the organizational person, so I like Christopher can talk for hours. I love you, honey, but he can talk for hours.
I'm the grandson of a preacher. What do you want?
And I have to,
Here.
I have to tell Christopher, hey, you know what? All right, let's keep it down to 2 minutes. So keep going.
Oh, may I speak now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Good. Here we go. So this isn't really about AI, it's really about getting your life back. And the whole premise about this is we've looked at time savings more than anything else, because time is one of those things that we just can't manufacture more of. But we can save time by using certain technologies that will maximize our leverage. And really, a lot of AI that I find it really brings a certain amount of relief. It makes me feel like I'm a little more in control of all the craziness around us, and that it can bring our life back. And so, if AI doesn't do any one of these things, then really it's a distraction, and it's not really worth paying attention to.
Can I interject here? Because just
Yeah,
yesterday I was talking to Nancy about this. I feel
yeah,
like I have my life back. This
yeah.
is the first time that I feel in years that I feel like myself, that I'm able to do things that I enjoy. I I'm doing I went dancing with my handsome husband the other day. It was
Which one?
anyways, I could talk a lot about that because it has given me a lot of relief.
Yeah.
But human loop is very important.
I think the relief is probably the major thing. And there's something in AI when you study enough of it, and they're always talking about AI can produce all kinds of crazy stuff, and most of it's garbage, really. And the most important thing is to recognize that you have to have what we call HITL. I like the little pointer because see, I can go over there and see. Isn't that cool? That's what HITL, which is human in the loop. And really, it's more like having your heart in the loop. Because if you're not evaluating the AI, it's just going to produce stuff that doesn't necessarily sound like you. And that's going to be a thing that you have to be concerned about because really, you need to provide AI with the direction, the context, sorry, I got to put my reading glasses on again. Gosh darn it. Heart and also the judgment, because AI will not replace your judgment. That's for sure. And we said before, hinting at this before, what's AI without humanity? Well, it's really stale, forgettable, and rather mechanical, and you want to be unforgettable.
And it can be wrong. That's the other.
Oh, it definitely can be wrong. AI is famous for hallucinating.
It will give me two
Yeah.
different outputs, two different, if you're depending on the one, if I'm using Claude, if I'm using chat, I have different results, even with the image prompts that I will give it, because I'll play around with images. Some of those of you who are part of the AI group, Power Players group, you guys will see some of and I just don't understand that. I don't understand, but anyways, that's a whole other story. Keep going.
It is a whole other story. Hallucination in AI is very famous, but you have to understand too that ChatGPT, for example, is uh, searching the entire internet for information, and that includes all the conspiracy sites and craziness that's out there. And so you need to have some guardrails and keep things under control. This is you.
That's me. So I'm Maggie Unzueta. If you've never met me, I started my first business when I was 18 years old, sold it, went off to college, had a very successful academic career. And then I started 15 years ago, I started mommaggieskitchen.com. It's a food blog. Since then, geez, okay. Oh, good. You added them here. I've owned a social media marketing agency. Christopher and I've had two e-commerce brands
One was flashlights, and the other one was importing goods.
from Mexico. That in itself was fun.
A lot of breakage, mind you, especially with pottery.
Yeah, it was a lot. I stared at all the stuff that we used to import and sell. So yeah, and we don't have some of those businesses. We still have the food blog, which is what some of you might have seen. I'm down from 60 hours was what I was working just a few years ago. Then I went down to 40. From 40, I went down to 20, 10, more like 10. And then during Q4, I was still working about 20. And now I'm at 2. It's all because of AI. And actually, hold on, let me give it to you because I know that this is what everybody wants to hear, and how I did it. It's a very simple thing. So get your pens out. I created systems.
What are those?
So that's it. That's the magic to what I did. And you have to think about what your business does, right? And just framework it into different things of what, like maybe you have a tech side, maybe you have a creation of content, or maybe you have an email. And in each one of those, I created a system. I created a system for my tech. I created a system for the creation of content. I created for emails. It was just a system, and I used AIs, okay, for each one of those pillars. And that's how I'm down to 2. And that's why I'm able to start a brand new business
And
and live.
you've also empowered your VAs are also using AI.
So my assistant, so everybody, I have a team. It's not just me, okay,
Yeah.
guys. I have a team. So I have people who are on the tech side. I have people who work with me on content creation. I have people who just do social media marketing, with all the different networks. I have people who work with me on email, et cetera, et cetera. So once I learned what to do with the different AIs, I said, here, use this. Here's this prompt, use that prompt. This is how we're doing this. And Canva is something that we do use quite a bit. I use it quite a bit on the creation of stuff. And so, yes, I've been using that quite a bit. And yeah, that's a whole other story because, again, it has a mind of its own sometimes. And it wouldn't have happened, okay, because I was that person who hated AI. I was that person who was like, what Christopher just said, the Terminator, and Christopher can vouch for this Terminator coming to destroy us. And then Christopher decided to
I'll
write
admit
a
that.
book.
I wrote the first book, yeah.
The first book was Big Business Growth,
Yeah.
and that was #1 on Amazon. Okay, so it was great.
For web-based marketing. My one
Yeah.
claim to fame. So
Yeah, no, he had lots of claims to fame. Anyways, other than that, so he wrote that book, which is very successful. So he wrote a second book called Talk Human to Me. And it was on AI. And I thought, no, dude, I'm not going to read this book like this. But he's my husband. Of course, I have to. So
in the contract.
it's in the contract, right? So there I am. I'm reading his book. And seriously, it was like, wait, hold on. I could use this on the blog. So I would read a little bit and I would go and, play with some AI. And little by little, I started reducing my workload. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to keep reading this book.
Like the magic pill. Was it the red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a simple concept, right? Just create systems for yourself using AI. And it really depends on your business. It depends on what your business and what your business entails, what different things your business requires. But we'll get to that. Keep going,
Yeah.
honey. Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to be a lot shorter on this one. This is me. My dad used to, Maggie once asked my dad, "What do you call your son?" And he said, "Dr. Christopher Vogelmann, of course." And that's been one of our running jokes over the years. So I spent 35 years as a chiropractor. I have 13,000 plus. It would include actually maybe patients as well as a lot of doctors. I used to teach in seminars all across the US and Canada. And I marketing myself now more as a decision architect because I have another new book that's coming out next month, which is called Decision Load. It's basically the or I say the cure for decision fatigue. Because one of the phrases my dad used to have was indecision leads to perdition, which is like perdition is total annihilation. So, I mean, it's a good idea to decide something, and then if it turns out to be the wrong decision, you can make another decision. Um, and that's about it for me. So here we go. Now,
I'm sure. Can we just take a moment and
I,
appreciate that Dr.
you,
Woolman didn't take more than
you
30
want,
minutes to
yeah,
talk about this?
I should have set a timer.
I'm impressed. I gotta say, I'm impressed.
All right. Impressed is better than depressed. All right, here we go. So a lot of you are probably that you're feeling that the misbegotten belief is that I'm already behind. Like, am I already behind? Well, not really. You've just kind of you've missed a couple of steps. Like these are the super early adopters. They get it changes to an arrow too. This is so much fun. I get distracted very easily, as you can tell. Here. And then we get to the point now where there's so much AI around. There's so many tools and so many opinions and so many gurus and all kinds of stuff going on that it's this kind of this big ball of mess. And this is that point of confusion, this state of the art, if you will, or the state of the mess, where we need to give a little bit more clarity and alignment and resonance with other people. And we can actually amplify that using AI. This one's a little messy. Sorry, I wanted to show you this one only because in uncertain times, the business that communicates the clearest is the one who's going to win. Okay, you can see that this is basically very AI generated here, but AI is not really a shortcut. It's going to be the thing that boosts your signal. And in these days, trust is a commodity that's in short supply, and so you can use AI to boost your trust signals. We get into that during our course about making you more obvious to the various AI platforms that are out there.
And can I
Yeah.
go in there? Because I think if you are smart enough as a business owner, add you, okay,
Always.
you are to it and use AI just effectively, efficiently. Man, that is a recipe for not disaster, but a recipe
I
for
was about to say, I filled in disaster in my head.
amazing, just, creme brulee popped in my head, but it's just, the cream of like that is just, that's perfect. That's exactly what you're looking for. But I think there's a lot of, um, kind of what you were talking about, just being real, being authentically you online is, again, I've been here for 15 years, guys. I've been online for 15 years and I understand the need for that. And that was part of the success, or is part of the success of Mom Maggie's Kitchen.
You gotta understand, authenticity is also an overused word. I have several friends, one who's even written a book, which is Own Your Weird. Like
Yeah.
people want real people. And so if I pull out, well, I wish I had my Buffalo Bills hat, but instead I have my other hats over here. But to know everything about you, like I used to do country western dancing. I have 7 pairs of cowboy boots. I love the Buffalo Bills. I come from Buffalo, New York. I'm an honorary Canadian. All these little weird things or details that are uniquely you can be put into AI to produce content that sounds like you.
And I think that's a really good point because the more real you are, the less there's an imposter syndrome that happens. Man, did I see that? So many people try to copy me, or try to be me, and it's like, huh? Like it made no sense. Like we each have our unique story to tell, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you really have to understand, just own who you are and be okay with showing who you are online because that's I mean, why lie? Yeah, I mean, and not only that, you can actually people can Google. They can Google you.
They can Google you. Yeah. And so reputation management is one thing that AI can actually help you with. So these are these 5 headaches in the AI landscape, if you will. And so some people just don't know where to start. Um, and we were talking about this just a little while ago. When I get back content that just sounds so generic, I refer to it as LLM speak or RoboTalk. And I try to purge anything. If I do write something with AI, I try to purge of that and sound more like a human. And that's why people are really afraid that they're going to lose their humanity somehow. But and some people see that they see the opportunity here, but they just don't want to hire a bunch of people. Well, the reality is you can actually hire fewer people to get work done. We're not into firing people. What we want to do is empower people so they can produce 10 the work of 10 people.
Okay,
It's
can I
pretty
go here?
powerful.
Because, and I
Yeah.
know that this is a real threat for people, the
Yeah.
losing their jobs using AI or, AI coming to take over jobs. I fired no one. Okay. When I was reducing my work, I was firing myself. I fired myself. Like I was giving my duties, the things I was doing, I gave it to the people who work with me. And it freed up my time. So that's more of kind of where I'm going with it. And I know someone out there is going to say, well, it just for cost or whatever it might be. And I understand that as a business owner, I get it. But just understand that when I talk about me reducing my workload, I didn't fire anyone. On the contrary, I gave them more work.
Exactly, and become more productive. So, and the big thing right now is, in a very noisy world, how do you break through that noise? Because sometimes you find that maybe you believe that nobody's going to listen to what you have to say.
Okay.
So, listening to what you have to say. Okay, now I got to move your lovely faces again because I can't read the screen. There we go. You're up at the top here. So this is something I refer to as a voice snapshot. And so this is just a moment in time where you can find out who you are, not find out who you are, but let the AI know who you are. And it's one of those things where you're going to basically season whatever AI you're using. I don't care if it's Claude or Manus or ChatGPT or whatever it is. You give it things that you've already written. You can give it, of course, your emails. That'd be a fun thing to get your entire email inbox in there. The voice memos you make, maybe any sort of casual text that you have. I actually use with for my AI. I actually seasoned it with Apple Notes. So, I tend to on my phone. I tend to collect a lot of notes, a lot of Apple Notes, and there are just tons of them here. And so what I do is I've saved them and I've created these long, long documents with all the notes, like the little quips that I make, the stepdad jokes, the experiences that I've had, and put it in there, and that's where I get my particular DNA imposed or put into ChatGPT, for example. And Claude is starting to know me a little bit better too. So once you put all this input in here of all the things that you are, and I've even put photos in there too, which is really kind of funny. It'll then produce what's called your voice snapshot, or some people might refer to it as your personal brand. Okay. So it's and basically it's a real simple three-step process. You get three natural samples of what you will produce. Got to find there's that little sucker there. You feed it to the AI to analyze it, and then you can test and reuse it. Now here's a prompt that you may want to remember. You can screenshot this one too. So you put into, and I'm agnostic when it comes to AI nowadays, even though I have some of my favorites. Prompts can work in anything. It doesn't have to be ChatGPT. So I'm going to share three samples of my writing, analyze them, and describe my tone, my sentence pattern, my phrases that I use repeatedly, and the words I never use. In fact, I've got a lot of forbidden words that and I'll hook you up with something, my forbidden words later. Um, and then please write one paragraph voice snapshot that I can paste into future prompts so that you write in my voice, not in a generic voice, not in the Terminator voice, not in Maggie's voice, not in Dr. V's voice, but your own unique voice. Oh, and for some reason, it's not going to let me forward. There we go. It did let me do it this time. So that's the first tool that we talk about. Now, the second tool is what I refer to as a task swap. So this is where you determine what am I going to keep and what am I going to give to AI.
Wait, before we go ahead,
Yeah,
were you going to show your chat GPT
I
or?
will. I will, but it's coming up after the next couple
Oh,
slides.
sorry.
We're
I
on.
I read
Yeah,
the
I know.
slides.
You
I
wanted to.
forgot.
That's okay. We'll go back to it shortly. So, um, So for AI, you give it your drafts, your research summaries, all the kind of formatting that you might want to do, like I've done with books, all the routine things that you want to do. I love AI for brainstorming. It's just super cool for that. In fact, I think the name AI Power Players came out of brainstorming with AI. The things you want to hang on to are the decision making. You are the decider, as George W. Bush used to say. I am the decider. You want to keep the relationship conversations going with people. So that includes email. You don't want to give AI all control over your email conversations. You got to have that human in the loop that we talked about before. You got to preserve your judgment. Uh, you're the one who determines, the humanity that's there, and keep it alive with your story and your face. I actually like genuine faces more than all the AI generated stuff, even though it's kind of fun. And you ever see the people who've had you look at their LinkedIn profile or Facebook profile, and you meet them in person, and they're like 40 years older than their profile pic. That's a little disturbing. That's a loss of signal or loss of trust right there. So,
That's kind of like those dating sites, when you go on
oh
well,
yeah,
I don't, obviously for many years I've not been on that, but yeah, this was back in the day when you'd go and you'd see someone on in their picture, you're like, hey, not bad. Then you show up and you're like, who are you? It's like,
nice,
no.
nice Lambo, and it turns out they're driving a Toyota.
No, but I did want to mention something about my email. My email. I'm very good with email. I want to get it done. Like I want it nice and clear. Like if you email me, I'm usually really good at responding. Usually, okay.
Don't
Usually.
email me. I have 40,000 unread emails.
Okay, but again, I'm the systems organizational person, right? So I actually I had chat do exactly what Christopher had with the first tool, where I gave it a few samples of previous emails, and now it knows my voice. So I have little what I would call templates of, because I get, what I'm talking about, especially with businesses, that you have these standard emails that you get all the time. Most of the time they want to talk to me, can I borrow 1 hour of your time? So I have literally a template, like, from ChatGPT, and it will tell me, this is where it almost writes it for me. So I just copy and paste, and this is my standard email to these people who want to talk to me for an hour, or they want to send me a product to review. So I have that standard template. So if you think about it in your business, what is that standard email that you get all the time? And go to chat and talk to chat or Claude and ask them to write just that response that that sounds like you, and you can send out easily.
It saves you fatiguing your typing fingers, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it's also just because, having to write that email yet again. No, I don't want to talk to you. Make it friendly. That's the other one. Make it friendly.
Yeah, definitely make it friendly. All right. And so we've talked about this already. That's anything that requires the relationships, the judgment, or your personal story. Uh, if it's a yes, hang on to it because you're the human being in this loop. Otherwise, just give it over to AI or to other people. The idea is to offload, get rid of some of these things that are occupying your time and that the sort of boring, mundane tasks that AI can actually do for you. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, just talking about the idea that you can, for businesses, especially small entrepreneurial solopreneurs, the average employee probably could easily cost about 65,000 a year, but then you can scale with AI for something much better. And as I said earlier, this came from a fellow I saw recently, which is he has a team of 15 doing the work of, it's not quite 150, it's probably 130 people. And it's not because they're working a lot more hours, it's because they're working on exactly the right things that amplify or utilize their unique skills and their unique abilities, their creativity. So
Can I go back to the cost of
yeah,
AI?
yeah.
I know chats 20 or something like that, $20 a month.
Yeah, $20 a month. So for $20 a month, that's 240 for the year. And it
No,
would
no, no.
easily save you 5 to 10 hours per week.
What I was going to say is that my free, because I have two accounts, I have a paid account, just because I was like, oh, what's this paid thing is what makes it so much better. I actually use my free account much more, much more because it knows me better. So I can get a lot done with my free account. When it stops me or prevents me, then I'll go, okay, well, all right, let's go to this paid one. But there are a lot of free apps, Christopher,
Three
paid,
platforms?
yes, free AI. Sorry, forgive me. Free AIs out there that you can use. Um,
Yeah,
it
there's like you can use Perplexity, you could use Poe, you could use a whole bunch of things. Um,
Perplexity is great for research, by the way. Keep going.
and Manus is becoming really popular now.
You know,
Manus,
I haven't. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you, honey. Go ahead.
ooh, I got an apology today. All right, so Manus was based in China, but they moved to Singapore to avoid the Chinese government, and they were purchased by Meta, which famous for owning Facebook, and they're really putting that particular Manus AI all throughout Facebook. So it's becoming more and more prevalent. When you see something saying, "Would you like to use Meta AI?" That's really Manus in the background doing the work.
I haven't really played too much with Mana, so I need to get on that.
It's fun. It's got the word man in it and us. So, all right. So, tool number three, this is the one where you're going to be very clear in what you're asking your AI to do. You're going to be concerned with the things that you really want to nail down are who you are, what you need, who it's for, and how it should feel. Because the emotion, the feeling that you convey, that you want to convey should come through whatever AI content is being generated. So this is just an example. Who you are might be, okay, I'm a business coach for women over the age of 45. I teach them how to have their second act now that the children have left the nest, something like that. What you need, maybe write a 3-paragraph email announcing my new program that I'm coming up with, who it's for. As an example, it's for my existing warm email list. This isn't cold email. These people already know me. And then as far as how it should feel, you want to have something that's perhaps more conversational, shorter sentences, that is speaking to them in your voice snapshot or according to your personal brand. So down here, this is pretty true. So a weak prompt will generate flat content. But if you have this clear ask with all these 4 factors, it will give you a very tight, usable first draft that then you can modify. Because I always recommend examining things and playing with them so that it truly sounds like you. Because every once in a while, there's a word that comes through there that you can tell it's AI generated.
I think that's such an important thing, the clear ask, keeping your ask, your prompt, keeping it clear. If it doesn't, hold on, let's go back actually even further than that. Let's talk about the chat, knowing who you are. And I know that there's a lot, and we will in our course, we're going to talk, I don't know how we're going to bring her in yet, but she's a security specialist. Talking about security, the internet and AI. Yeah, I don't know if it's a bonus yet or if she's going to be part
It's
of
either,
the
it's either going to be a bonus or it'll be a module.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. That itself deserves like she got me off of a lot of stuff that day. I was like, oh, we need to talk to her more. Anyway, so I understand that that's a threat. I understand that there's a security threat there. But we're not talking about giving chat your social security number. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about chat getting to know who you are and what type of business you run. And I mean, I would seriously sit down with Chat or Claude and just say, this is the type of business that I have. This is and once it starts getting to know who you are, it can give you a better result. But that prompt that Christopher's talking about, if you don't know, how should I say this? It's if you don't know what to say, just start having that conversation with it. This is where, or getting, if you're not getting the result that you want, go back and forth with it until it finally does produce that clear result.
Yeah.
You're,
I think what's interesting too is that, if you really want to speed up your use of AI, you should dictate into AI because dictation is probably about 3.7, 3.8 times faster than typing because the average person types maybe 50 words a minute. I think you and I type a little faster than that, but um, dictating and actually it frees you up too because you're not overthinking. You're just letting your thoughts spill out into the AI. And you can also set your privacy settings for ChatGPT and Claude and others so that information is not shared to improve those large language models.
is there,
So,
Something for the because something you don't probably don't know about me, those of you who just met me, but I'm a polyglot, so I speak several languages, and I have a hard time sometimes switching from one language to another, and I've literally will just speak. And this is the first time you have to understand this is the first time in my life that I could just speak freely, in all my different, and it understands me. I mean that is mind blowing. Even Christopher, my husband, doesn't know this.
Especially even when you switch languages, it still understands her.
It's still, well, that's my point. I'll say
Yeah.
something part of a sentence in English, part of a sentence in Spanish, another part in French, and it will piece it together. But I did have to stop it the other day and tell me, okay, give me the response in English, give me the response in Spanish or whatever it is. So that's been exciting for me because I can speak freely for the first time.
Speak freely, talk amongst yourselves.
Oh
So this is the fourth one. So the fourth tool, because there are many more than this. There are hundreds of tools and uses for AI, but we just thought we'd keep it condensed a little bit so that you had something very practical that you could use Wednesday morning, tomorrow, or this afternoon if you're so inclined. So follow up, I refer to it as the big FU. And not the but of course, in medical note taking, as our illustrious doctor knows, FU means follow up in your medical notes. And so, but I like to when people use it negatively, I always say, always remember to put the N after FU. So, because that makes it fun. Um,
you,
so
I heard I think someone who heard you say
yeah,
that
yeah,
stole and used that. And I
yeah.
had to go into this and I said, no, that's my husband. That's not you.
No, it's like I know it's what I've done for years. In fact, people did sort of so-called steal or so, but I mean it's okay. I mean it's one of those things when when you're speaking, and I used to do the speaking circuit, you first tell somebody something, and you make the attribution to someone else. Like indecision leads to perdition. That's something that came from Dr. Thurman Fleet in his book Rays of the Dawn on this chapter about worry, anxiety. And so after a while, I've just used it so many times myself that I fail to give that attribution because he's long dead and I can just use it. So
Oh
anyway,
my gosh.
so anyway,
Oh man.
so so follow-up's really important because you want to constantly stay in touch with the people who are in your community, on your team, who are your clients. Yeah, and because a lot of times clients become just like family. And so that's why a warm check-in once in a while is pretty good. Like no pitching, you're not selling them something, you're just checking in, seeing how you're doing. Now, this works for email, but it also works for just Facebook Messenger, text messages, whatever it turns out to be. And this really, because this part of the bucket is really the leaky part that most people never really work on. And it's just staying in touch with folks. After an event, like after this event, you'll probably get an email from us, or after one of our other events. And this is just to help people, in particular the ones who haven't registered for the event. Maybe they've missed it, so you send out a replay. The re-engagement is, of course, these people who are they're kind of they're really not ready to commit to anything, but you want to bring them back in. We used to call it patient reactivation. So we would reactivate patients. I used to have my office manager, Millie. She was great. She was like having a bartender at the front desk. And what she would do, she'd call people up and saying, and these are her words. I kid you not. She says, the doctor needs to see you. So and that worked so well because I was like, but I just wanted to have a checkup and that sort of thing. But the doctor needs to see you. I mean, she brought in a lot of return patient visits that way. And then of course there's a whole thank you sequence that you can create to people who do you favors, or maybe they participated in your events. And these are the types of things that help you onboard with new clients. So that's the follow up, the big FU. All right. So this is a skill stack that I've put together here because we're all big on, I guess, right now we have this sort of hustle culture, work harder, hustle harder, get that Lambo, get that mansion, do all this, do all that. Well, you can make things a lot easier for yourself and a lot calmer, a little bit of peace of mind if you work on stacking these things. So in other words, the foundation is what we had first, that was your voice snapshot or your personal brand. And of course, that's the big payoff is that it sounds like you. every post, every conversation, every interaction. And the structures we talked about before was the task swap. Figure out what you can offload in order to get those extra 5 to 10 hours a week and focus on doing the right work that really requires your brain, your judgment, your humanity. And then, of course, we talked about the precision is the other stack that we're looking at here, which is to create things that are so super clear that your first draft could almost pass as the final version. Okay. And that makes it a lot easier for you to edit. Believe me, I know. And then finally, the momentum is created by always following up with people and relationships. Relationships are really going to be the biggest thing that AI can help you with because, people tend to buy from people. It's a
Yeah.
known fact.
Yeah, let me go back to this because I want to talk a little bit
Yeah.
about this because it reminded me of a friend we all know and love who's building this billion-dollar marketplace. She's amazing, and I've seen her whenever she has a question, she goes over to your chat and then she'll go and ask it for a draft for. I'll give you an example, a draft to speak in her voice in response to X, Y, Z, and you can do that. You can do that. You can go one by one by one. So when I think she's building a billion-dollar marketplace, I'm like that to me, there's just so much, there's so much involved in going back and forth like that. But if you have it just one place where you already read it and you have the system already there, you just copy and paste it, copy and paste, copy and paste. Okay, that's all you. So you just have to think about it once, as opposed to going back and forth and back and forth. But don't get me wrong, she's amazing in other things. Obviously, she's building a billion-dollar thing. But I kind of want to talk to her and tell her that, you should do this instead.
Well, yeah,
But
we need to have a conversation with her too, because you can actually get AI agents to do that for you.
yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
We're not going to talk about that today. Anything else you want to talk about on here?
Let's see, relationships. Oh man, you know what I saw the other day? I saw someone, oh gosh, talking about AI agents. They were calling, AIs were calling people on the phone.
Yeah, I actually have that technology, but I have not deployed it.
Ooh, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's
I like all the toys and tools.
we'll talk about that later. Okay, keep going.
Oh, okay. Keep going. I thought you meant then you keep going to other things. Yeah. But there are other things, and it's interesting because more and more there are AI agents answering the phones. Because I do some sleep therapy, and for the very first time about a week and a half ago, I was talking to an AI agent the entire time until I got so frustrated they connected me with a human.
I remember
It's
that.
like it's like the push button menus that people get a little bit annoyed if you're going down 3 levels deep into a voicemail menu. So keep it as human as possible is the motto here. Okay, so now this is the thing that you wanted here, which was a demonstration of what we're going to do here. So I'm going to actually get rid of the screen share right now and pop up something different.
Yay.
Talk amongst yourselves while I find this thing.
Yay. I've never met Millie, your old office manager, in person, but she sounds like a hoot.
He is
Uh,
a hoot.
she's older too. She's really sweet. She's one of these women who will like, she doesn't know how to share stuff. So she'll share the whole thing, and it's like, God bless her for that. She's really sweet. But yeah, so we're going to be doing a live demonstration of what, Christopher?
A live demonstration of how you would import your own voice into something here. But let me double check to make sure I've got the right prompt. Do 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 do.
Be careful when you show us your screen,
I
okay?
know, I know, I know. I'm hiding all the sexy images that were on here.
Sexy images. No, I was thinking more of social security numbers.
Those two. So those two. Oh, there's the prompt. Okay, so I'm going to use this here. It's got 2 screens here. This is where you like to have staff helping you share screens and things. So I think we're going to get this. Yes, this is my paid ChatGPT account because I too have paid and free. But this has been seasoned so well for so long. You'll see over here just for a moment. I've created GPTs that I use periodically. There's a Mama Maggie's Kitchen subject writer. There's Dr. V's personal brand, so that we're going to use my brand.
Wait,
So,
wait, wait, honey, before you go further, explain to people what GPTs are.
oh, GPTs are just so they're ways of collecting all of the little prompts together so that you can just ask a question and spit out input. output. Sorry, you put the information in, you get the output. So a GPT is just it's almost like a little app that you've created within your AI.
Yeah, that's a great way
Just
to
like,
describe it.
yeah, just like that. So this I'm going to use this prompt here, and this is going to be I got to make sure I use the exact structure. So this is where you highlight. Oh, come on. Are you really gonna? Oh, it's gonna give me problems today. I can tell. Let me just copy. And then I'm going to go over to my I'm going to go into my business, my brand voice. There it is. The business architect's a little bit too much. Let's make it instead. I should have my personal brand here. Oh, that's okay. We'll use this one just for an example. So let's say for example you have someone. Her name is Sandy. Sandy is a 55-year-old woman. She attended your event. She's got the 2.3 children and the two dogs and everything else. And you want to write an email to her that is personalized according to what her desires and information are. So you put this prompt in here, and you get a copy of this later. So I just
What?
had a discovery call with her. Okay. That you had the discovery call, things were going great, and that you want to have a clear, warm, friendly follow-up message. Let's see how friendly this is going to be. Because mine's a little more is a little less friendly sometimes. I'm a little more, I'm not stale or anything, but
Well, can you read us the prompt? What did you put in there?
yeah, I did give you the prompt. It was right there.
Where? Oh,
Write
wait,
a
what?
follow-up email based on my
Oh,
discovery call.
I see, I
So
see.
I already I did this earlier so we could do this faster. So the situation is I just finished this discovery call with Sandy. Okay.
I
My
see.
goal is I want to write a warm email and reflecting back what her problems were and everything else. And the voice, I want to be human, professional, and clear and warm, not comfortable, confident, not stiff. So when I write things, I often write it. I'll say like write in my writing style, which is it's witty, warm, wise, inspirational, irreverent, and a little cheeky. And that comes out sounding like me. But I've refined that over like 2 years, 2 years now. And that's what my books sound like too. So when somebody reads a book and they meet me, they'll say, like one of our friends, Erica says, it sounds just like you. And that's because I've worked at it to make it sound like me. So, but AI is, we said before, sometimes it hallucinates. I like to think of AI not so much as a dog, but it's like training a toddler. So you have to put some limits into where AI goes.
All right,
So
let's see
here
what Sandra's.
to what?
Let's hear this. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. Really appreciate how honestly you shared what's been going on in your business. Hey, this is pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah. What stood out most was how much you're carrying right now. You've been wearing too many hats, holding too many moving pieces. I'm going to tell you, hold on, I'm going to stop here. I would actually read this. That's actually really
Yeah,
good.
that's it. Well, you were. I could hear you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep going
That's,
down a little bit. Let me see what else it says.
now let me go down a little bit more.
Let me see how it ends. That's exactly why I believe this work matters. There's a path from overwhelm to clarity, and you do not have to keep holding all of this alone. I'd love to continue the conversation, explore what the right next step could look like for you. If it feels aligned, we can set up the next call and map out what support would be most helpful. I like it,
Not
Christopher.
too bad. Not too bad. So it spoke in my voice. I'm not sure if it spoke to you, but it's pretty interesting. So
Yeah,
but
I
that's
like
just an
it.
example. But see, I've already seasoned my chat with all that info before. All the weirdness, all the craziness and things like that, as well as I gave it the entire manuscripts of the book that I've written. So I've got I have 5 book manuscripts, but I've only published 2. But I gave the AI all of those manuscripts just so that it would know a little bit more.
So the first book, did you write that when using AI?
Very little, but I used it for AI mostly for the images, and I did use some AI in there. I used AI for the chapter outlines, and I used it to help me edit things.
Yeah, the second
It's a
one,
massive book. It's 410 pages.
yeah. And hold on a second. Can I tell this story
Yeah,
really
you
quick?
can tell the story.
He wrote this book. This is big business growth. Okay, it was number one
It's
on
in a
Amazon.
big binder too, a big
And
binder.
so he would give me here's my book. So there I go. I'd read the book, read, laugh because he's funny, right? So ah, ha, 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 looking at the all right. And oh wait, Christopher, you made a mistake over here. Maybe you forgot a comma or an apostrophe or whatever. And he would have each time I gave it back to him, he would rewrite like a whole chapter or add another chapter. So I read, how many times did I read your book, Christopher?
Probably 5 or 6 times. I've lost count.
At the very end, I was just tired. I was afraid to give him like tell him, hey, you missed a word here. I was afraid.
I've made the books shorter. The last one was 210 pages instead of 410 pages.
It's perfect just the way it is. Just turn it in,
It's
please.
ideal. But you know what's interesting? I've had mistakes that I left in the books and I get comments about it. And that creates a conversation and an interaction back and forth. So being perfect is not always the best solution.
No, imperfectly perfect, something like that.
Yeah, imperfectly perfect or imperfect action. Now I got to go back and find my slides. So say
Well,
something wise and witty.
the second book, Talk Human to Me, was really interesting because, like I said, I was busy doing stuff. He got me to do things like create the systems that I'm talking about, So it was not, and it's funny. They're funny books. Oh, the other thing about the first book is he used AI over a year ago to create the images that are in this book. So you can tell they're AI images. Okay, you know what I'm talking about when you see an AI image and you're like, "Ugh, AI." But you can see the progression of what the early AI in a year, where how far it's come. Did you find
In
yourself?
fact, but I was very it was really hard to get images back over a year ago. Actually, it was August of the previous year. So I started that in August of 2024 and trying to get images created and it was I would ask for something because I really love Pixar films. It's just sort of a little thing that I have. And so I would ask for Pixar like images and the ChatGPT would come back to me saying, "I'm sorry, but due to copyright and trademark violations, we can't do that." And then I would just change the wording slightly, and eventually it would obey. So sometimes you have to go around the limitations in order to get back the kind of content that you actually want. Now, nowadays, with Nano Banana 2 and ChatGPT's new imaging and all these other things, there is so much you can do with images and now videos. And in fact, we're getting to the point now where you can almost produce Hollywood quality
Yes.
videos.
Yeah, I haven't played too much with Sora. Okay, but that's my next step. I want to learn more about AI video. Um, the I've been playing with Nano Banana, and oh man, those images, they come out. That's free, first off, and they come out better than yeah, than some of the other ones. Sorry, chat, but yeah, each
No,
one.
but I'll tell you, Chat GPT's image creation is amazing for logos. It is better
Oh,
than Canva,
logos.
better than Canva. So at
Yes.
least that's my personal experience. So this is an N of one. It's anecdotal. It's anecdotal. So use my advice with great caution.
No, I agree with you. So the Canva editor to edit your images, so if you want to create it there and then make it editable, like I think that's what I would go with. Manus, I haven't tried it yet. Sora, like I was saying, but there's something else. Banana, sorry, two is interesting because it gives you, gosh, I want to say 10 or how many images? I can't
Uh,
remember.
Easily 10 or more. I mean, and if you have a pay, we're getting down into the weeds. If you have a paid Google account, they give you more.
Okay, you want to show and we can
Yeah, let's
keep
go back to this.
to end.
We did our walkthrough. Let me go back into presentation mode. Do, 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 do.
So also Canva is good for slides.
Yeah, I do. Canva Presenter is just great. I used to use Keynote a lot and PowerPoint. I loved Keynote better than PowerPoint, but I love Canva even more than this. And some people I know have been using Google Slides. And Google Slides are great because then you have one ecosystem that you can put this stuff into. And you can send these things to different platforms. It's not a big deal. We talked about the task swap. I think I duplicated that. Oh,
Thank you,
we've,
Dan.
we've reached whoa,
Yay. That's it.
50 minutes.
Look at you,
50
Dr.
minutes.
Vogelmann.
We've reached the end of our visit. I'll see. This is the 50-minute hour for the therapist.
It's 30 is not something you find after the storm. It's what gets you through it. Okay, so we're opening up a course. We're having a training. We're calling it the Hours to Minutes Accelerator. It's a 4-week live. Now, here's something. Hold on. I'm going to be in Paris for
Yeah.
two of those 4 weeks.
Oh,
So my aunt, I know, I'm excited.
voila.
I am so excited. My aunt is turning 80 and she doesn't speak English, okay? And she just speaks Spanish, okay? And I speak French. So she said, "Hey, come with me. You can translate." I'm like, if I must, oui.
Please.
So I am going to be, she's 80. Okay. So I'm going to have time.
She's
She's
only
yes,
79. She's only
I
79.
know. She's turning 80 on May 2nd. So we are going
Second.
to, yeah. So we're going to be in Paris. So she's going to be resting part of the time. I can already see us going to like, the Louvre or something and then coming home and me working for a little bit. So, and that's fine, rather than me being bored, waiting for her to wake up or something. She told me she takes 3 naps a day.
Well, you love your nap a day.
I have one little power nap that I do in the middle of the day. That's true. Anyway, so the accelerator is a 4 week. You guys can keep Dr. Vogelmann busy here in San Diego while I'm in Paris.
I'm a bachelor for 2 weeks. Be a lot of pizza in this house.
All right, so we're going to be talking for 4 weeks about AI and specifically because there's only so much we can give you guys in this 1 hour, right? But hopefully you guys right now, oh, go back to that slide, honey.
Oh, sorry. I was going to share the landing page itself, but hang on. Let me go to the slide. Is that it?
No,
You cannot see it. Okay, I see it because I haven't. It's
mainly.
on my screen, so let me share it again. Sharing is caring. That's what Barney said.
There we go. All right. So what you have now, you can identity, the voice. The voice, this is a big deal, right? Chat or Claude or your AI, learning your voice, learning to talk like you, especially with writing emails. These tasks, the class, let's see, clear ask and the follow-up. So you can see from Christopher gave you an idea of what creating these templates. Gosh, that's your own little system that can help you in responding. That itself can save so much time, uh, give you that mental freedom that because you don't need to rethink all these things. But anyways, so you wanted to show the landing page, Christopher?
Yeah, you can have time for long walks on the beach with your wife and things like that. So, or go to Paris.
Or go to Paris and hang out with my aunt.
Paris. Let me find the landing page here. The landing page is going to be it's going to be accelerator dot. We're calling it the human. Sorry, human. I keep thinking humanity because I keep speaking about human all the time. One of my other books that's to be published is Humans Will Win.
And all his books are on Amazon. Okay, if you want to go and
Not
check.
just two right now, but there'll be more later. So don't
Yeah,
worry.
there are two. We are writing a book together on AI.
Yes. Yes, that's going to be fun.
Which is great. I've only written a cookbook, so I don't. Yeah, so this is
You wrote courses and you had other cookbooks. You have a dessert book and things like that. Let me
yeah.
look for our landing page. Oh gosh darn it. It's switching me out of this. So change
The
I'm going to change to a different browser. That's one of the technical problems here right now.
so this course training. Christopher doesn't like the word course. I like
Well, courses are kind of stale. Everybody's had a course, of course. Unless you're saying Dr. Christopher Vogelmann, of course. Then I think course is okay. Accelerator AI power. Let me see if I can get it here. Yes, Houston, we no longer have a problem. Show you. This is it. This is us.
That's us.
Ta-da. Let me see if I can.
So,
I'm trying to expand it for you. It's a little hard to expand.
chiming in for 2 weeks from Paris, as I just mentioned. Go scroll down a little bit.
Scrolling. The 2 hour work. I wanted to call it the 2 hour work week, but she wouldn't let me.
We're going to be meeting. Yeah, we're going to be meeting for Tuesdays and Thursdays. Uh, yeah. So if you're already tired and come away with nothing, what is this, Christopher? I didn't read this part.
You
Uh,
didn't read this part?
no, I did read this part. Hold on, I had to build
So in
this.
4 weeks, even if you've already tried and come away with nothing. So in other words, you're going to build a system that actually works for your business in 4 weeks, even if you've already tried it and come away with nothing.
Uh-huh.
So the idea is it's not a course, it's not a video library, it's 8 working sessions for you have a real business, you have real questions, and we're talking about the reality. I'm not going to click this button, but it does work now.
Oh,
Um,
wait. Founder's price. You want to mention that? The
yeah, we
founder's
do have a founder's price. So we've set aside 20 slots for founders. And this is something we're going to offer at about $1,000, $997. But we're giving $500 off for the founders, mainly because we want your input and we would love to have your testimonial at the end of the 8 weeks because we plan to do this several times a year. And we're going to load it up with a ton of bonuses. And it's really kind of funny because I even put a little fast action bonus at the end, which you'll see at the end of this this landing page, and it was for the first five who sign up as the founders. We're going to do a special group call with Maggie and myself to go over all the little problems and things that you may be having with AI and help you not quite one on one, but one on or two on five. That's not too bad. Two on five. Anyway. Uh,
Yeah, because I think that would be a great way to serve a lot of people.
yep.
Because I really need to see your business, what kind of business you have.
Yeah.
Because I know that there are different, like we said, there are different AIs that are one thing's better for one thing, one is better for this other thing. But the founders, we only have 20 spots for that. So I know that that's going to go quickly and we're going to close it. Okay, we're going
Yeah,
to
we're going to definitely close it up. You're not going to be able to get in after the 6th.
after
So
the
we
6th and
start
then
we start on the 7th and we of April and we end on the 30th.
if they
We,
sell to, I haven't announced it to some of the groups. So if the groups take up the 20 spots after today, I'm just going to close it.
yeah.
Like we're just going to close and just move on to the 997. So just know that.
And it's not, and we're not going to do that internet marketing bro stuff of false scarcity. We're really going to lock it in at 20 because we don't want, it's hard to control a group, not so much control a group, but to interact in a group when it gets much larger than 20.
And I'm all about service. Like I want to make sure that I'm where you benefit and you get what you're paying for. Like I want to make sure that you walk away knowing and that well, at least that I know that I've given my best
Yeah.
to you. So I want to keep it small for that reason.
Yeah. And so that's the whole thing about, you asked better questions about AI, which was really good. And so when we get down here, this is what you're getting into. You can read that later.
Keep scrolling down. Keep scrolling down. They can look at
I'm
the
going to go
things
down here, who we are, what you want to be, blah, blah, blah. And then we have a little bit of info here. This is the actual course outline, if you will. Now it is subject to change without notice, because if we have internet connection problems in Paris or something like that, we may swap out a lesson or two in through.
Well, the one I do want to add that's not in here, I mentioned it to you guys, is the security person. I want to add her. If it's not a bonus, she hasn't given us a date yet. So if it's not in here, we're going to give it to you as a bonus.
Yeah, it's either going to be in week 3 or 4 or as a bonus. And it might be easier to just do it as a bonus because
Yeah.
she's just so well versed in security. It's just unbelievable. And some of the stuff that she told us that we were doing are completely wrong. They're completely wrong. So this is who we are. You've seen these faces, nice little photo shoot in the park. Who we are. These are some testimonials from people who I've worked with before. This is a video. I'm not going to hit it because I had trouble loading this sucker up into this landing page today, but it's on YouTube. And then this is where we're getting into. There's two ways in, and this is going to be the founders class through here. Can I expand this? It won't let me do it. Gosh darn it. I switched browsers and for some reason I can't. Oh, I can. Yeah, we go. Finally. There we go. This is the founders class, the 20 seats that we saw before, talked about before. And you're going to be the ones of you who become founders are going to shape what comes next. So your input is extremely valuable. And if you hate it, tell us you hate it. Tell us what worked, what didn't work, what you need more of, and that'll influence the curriculum for other people in the future. So
If you do take up the founders, I want to talk to you. Like I want to know
exactly,
you. I want to get
exactly.
to know
Like,
you.
like, like
Yes.
what worked, what didn't work, what do we need to cut out?
Just be honest with me. As I will be honest with you.
Exactly. So we're going to have the sessions. Everything will be recorded. You're going to get access to a private AI Power Players community. We're going to share a lot of stuff in through there, and we're going to help you build your personalized AI toolkit, which is very interesting. So, and you'll have access to a prompt library too. But I will say, you're going to be creating that prompt in your own voice because you're not sitting back and just watching stuff. In fact, we discourage people from coming just to kind of, sit back and be casual because we want to get results for people. I mean, Maggie didn't become a teacher because she didn't want to help people. I didn't become a chiropractor because I didn't want to help people.
Oh,
Um,
that's a whole other profession. I did it for 3 years while I was waiting to go to grad school. I was a teacher,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the teaching is just innately part of me. I want people to succeed. So this is a big deal for those of you who join the founders. Can you scroll down just a little bit so we
Yeah,
can?
yeah, yeah. So this is the bonus that we talked about before. I'm going to actually give founders a 30-minute one-on-one call.
And you also have Christopher's. Oh, he mentioned this. This
This
is
is the one. All the things that AI should not do.
Yeah.
So there are certain things and phrases and stuff like imagine or here's the kicker. Here's the
Oh,
kicker. Here's the
okay.
kicker should only be used if the Buffalo Bills are behind by 2 points in the fourth quarter. It's fourth and 20, and there's 13 seconds left, and they can win the game. Other than that, here's the kicker is a dead giveaway that you've been using AI. Well, there's 439 other ones that I've gathered. So
You're gonna get what not to how not to sound AI. That is a huge, huge, huge deal
yeah.
of about the badge. That's great.
We're going
Huge.
to give you a little badge, even though some people like, what was it? The Cheech and Chong said we don't need no stinking badges. Well, so you're going to get a badge no matter what. Um,
I
and then,
haven't heard that in years.
well,
Oh,
yeah, I'm older. Anyway, so there's priority access here too. So you're going to get founder pricing on anything else we create in the future, and that's going to be probably relatively invaluable there. And yeah, and so the button's working today. Thank you, Jesus, and whoever else, Buddha, Muhammad, doesn't matter. So the big question is, April 30th is going to come no matter what. And the question is whether what your business is going to look like once it gets here. So, and that's the end of the whole thing there. And we are only 2 minutes over or 3 minutes over, and we have time for questions, which is so cool.
anyone have questions? I know Nancy's been talking to us. Thank you, Nancy. Do you have any questions, anyone?
Nancy's chatting away.
I am. I just want to participate. I have a question. So if um if I'm given all of this, am I turning AI into a mini me? Am I sort of cloning myself?
You can do that, but I know there's all kinds of boundaries and things when it comes to therapy and stuff like. And there's a lot of people, yeah, who are using AI as their personal therapist. And what's happening is there's a lot of disclaimers and there's a lot of limits being put in place, guardrails, so people don't do things like that. But you can potentially create a clone of yourself in a very good way. Like if you want to do social media posts, like here's a tip on what to do to alleviate your anxiety in less than 30 seconds. And
Mm,
you could create a clone of you that would have your face, your voice, and have the lip movements and everything just like you, and that could actually go to work to produce a series of videos for social media. If you wanted to, expand a practice or have some other business, maybe a real estate development, who knows?
that's
If you want to.
If you want to,
If
it
you
doesn't
want
gonna
to,
force
because
you to.
you don't have to go to that extreme.
In fact, in those 8 weeks, we're not even covering that because
No,
there's
we're talking about is what you want to do with it. Like you give it its guardrails. You talk to it and say, "This is what I want to do. This is where I'm at." Like if you want to go to that extreme, yeah, we can talk to you about that. That's not an issue. But we're talking about whatever you feel comfortable. Like I do a lot of voiceovers for the videos for Mom Maggie's Kitchen, for example. And Christopher was like, "Well, let's just get an AI to do it." And I'm like, "No." So again, human in the loop, putting down these barriers, these boundaries,
boundaries.
what
Yeah.
yeah, of what I'm feel comfortable with. It's all about what you want to do. And
So it's like curated to what I need. Like if I need systems to answer people or schedule or things like that, then I do that. Or if I want to be on social media, then I do that. Like it's different aspects.
Yeah, you could make yourself dance on TikTok without ever dancing if you really wanted.
At TikTok, but yes.
But there's
Yeah,
always, and that's the whole thing. Your judgment is always paramount. I mean, the humanity. That's why the subsequent book's going to say humans will win. So,
yes.
Humans will win. Any other questions?
Mhm.
do we have do we put the link in the chat? That's the other
This
thing.
is
Yeah,
really great. Yeah, and what is the what's the website or link or email to sign up?
yeah, he's looking for it right now.
I'm just dropping it in.
Think it's accelerator.aipowerplayers.com. Is that right,
So,
Christopher?
I'm going to test it now that we're live.
so when you are
It takes me there.
working
Yes, it works.
when you're working with people, do you meet in groups, individual, both?
Yeah,
Like,
well, the course is going to be is it going to be group? So
mhm,
it's going to be 20 people in a group. Based on past experience, probably 8 to 10 will show up and the rest of them will watch replays. But
mhm.
there, but showing up live is the best way to consume the content. But we'll also have, so
You'll
once,
help.
yeah, we'll also have other things in there and help. And I need to create a portal for the course, which would have the replays of the live videos and also have all the prompts and things like that. So that if you're busy at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or God only knows what it is in Hawaii, you'll be able to
Prepare.
come back and look at what and review things and ask questions too. But I need to create that particular community. That's one of my next steps after we get
That's
off of.
right.
That's our
That's
next step. But yeah, yeah, and people can ask questions, as
Yeah.
if they weren't live, they can ask questions. Again, my thing is to make sure that people succeed. As I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't know, if I didn't feel that me or Christopher, if either of us could help other business owners.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
And
we've learned through the school of hard knocks too what doesn't work.
And
So
the reason we talk about our serial entrepreneurship is because we've had different types of businesses.
right.
Yeah, I
I mean,
don't know.
I had a bricks and mortar chiropractic practice with four full-time employees, one part-timer in a giant brick house right across from a major mall in Washington, D.C.
Oh, is that
wow.
the bank now? Is that the one that's a bank?
It's now a bank. My exam room is now the drive-through for a bank.
Wow. Wow.
Uh,
And
It was
so
by the way,
Maggie,
it was very disturbing to see that when we drove by there.
aw,
Go ahead, Nancy.
you're working out 2 hours a day?
I'm working 2 hours a day. Yeah. Or no,
Wow.
no, a week. Sorry, a
A
week.
week?
Yeah, a
A
week.
week?
A
Yeah,
week.
that's why I wanted to call it the 2 hour work week, kind of like Tim Ferriss's 4 hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it's on the weekends. I usually work on the weekends. I sometimes will do more just out of habit, and but it's kind of wild to me to think that
Yes.
I'm not really doing any. Well, and it's
What
don't
a
get me wrong.
goal.
I don't get me wrong. I do. I feel like I've worked really hard to get here, but like I said, it's just creating those systems that has allowed me to even do this here, start a whole new business. Yeah, or if it wasn't this, I probably would have started something different because that's just who I am. My brain doesn't stop, especially with entrepreneurship. And how this came about is because I was at my friend's event and I realized other entrepreneurs could learn. I mean, most people, and at that time, I think I was down to 5 hours. So that 5 hours or something like that. I can't remember, but it was low. Everyone around me was like, "What? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
I want that. Yes.
Yeah, I want
And then I realized need. I realized there was a need, and I said, "Oh wait, I can teach you." Yeah, I know that people can
Thank
benefit from what I know.
yeah.
and there are a lot of other people teaching AI courses and certifications and this and that and everything else. But what we realized too was that our particular flavor, we may resonate with certain people, whereas these other sort of tech bros really won't. And so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
keep
not the
it
techie
simple.
person. I'm not a tech bro. I'm not. That's not me.
She knows how to code HTML. Don't let her fool you.
No, that's only because I've had a food blog for
For the
15 years.
blog, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually how we started. Back then you had to know a little bit of HTML. So I went to go study HTML a little bit at that time. But anyways, I'm still not a tech pro.
Yeah. No, no, but this is great because you have like someone who's very versed in AI, someone who's very versed in business, and you're merging it together and building that. I mean, both of you are versed in both, but
Yeah, we're sort of we put ourselves together, and you'll have one fully functioning AI human
that's great.
And we're married.
still.
I love the banter. I love that. So cool. Love
Oh
that.
boy, just kid. Yeah, if you do join us, just know that this is us. This is yeah.
That's great. Love it. Awesome.
And if I occasionally will say "Go Bills," you'll have to forgive me. So
Or go Bulldog.
no, not Bulldogs. Bulldogs are Yale. We don't
Oh,
talk.
so yeah, so I don't talk to I didn't mention you didn't mention in my slide there that I went to Yale, but Christopher went to Harvard. So we have this banter that goes back and forth, and I'm really
Especially on
apologize
the game every November or so.
that we win every single November.
No, 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 no. Don't even go there.
Thank you.
Don't even.
I love that. I love
All
that.
right.
It's gonna be so much fun.
All
So
right.
yeah, and this will be a lot of fun. It'll be a little challenging with Maggie in Paris, but Emily was in Paris, so why can't
Maggie in Paris.
Maggie in Paris? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds
Listen, oh,
great.
by the way, there is a little bit of a time limit on this thing too, because you said that you wanted to close the founders thing in X number of days, or we've
Yeah.
changed.
April 6th is the final day for the
Okay.
founders, but if we sell out, there are only 20
Sell
spots.
out before then, yeah.
So
So
before then, we will close it. We're closing. I want to make sure that I service those 20 people for
yeah.
that reason. And then we'll go into the 997 for,
Probably in May or June. I don't know, something like that. If
no,
you
no,
want
no,
to.
I'm talking about the regular
Oh,
people.
the actual one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd like to have it down to, well, I thought, no, we'll talk about this later. I thought there was a deadline, like after 4 or 5 days, they were the cutoff on that price, and then they could still get in to become one
Yeah,
of the
that's
20.
it.
Okay. But that's not clear. I have to put that on the page now.
You're fine. You're fine. We'll talk more about this later.
All right.
You have a link. Please join us. Thank you
I
so much
love
for
this.
joining us. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. That's amazing. Great
We're going
job.
to stop that recording.
Yes. This is awesome.
Is it stop?